right, quick show of hands. How many of you have attended H.A.C.C over the years? Would you please raise your hand? Good, about half of the room. How many graduated from H.A.C.C? Okay.
We need an industrial revolution in Harrisburg. We must create more revenue, whether it's green industry, whether it's looking at or more ways on how we can create revenue, building things. We must get into an industrial mindset. Our receivership is going to take care of what happened in the past. Right now, we need a new breath of leadership which will move forward to create revenue. If we Wi-Fi the city, our communication as well as our transparency within our city would be great. That's my answer. We must create more and more revenue. Look at any aspect we can do to make revenue and build money, get money, money, get money, money, get money.
Now. I get it. I get it. Yeah.
Thank you.
We need to take projects like on Cameron and Her, those dilapidated buildings that people came to invest money and then left. We need to turn those things into adventure parks or something that brings people in. Unlike Eric, he looks at business for his own benefit. On the south end of Harrisburg, we have PennDOT. If we build a PennDOT Plaza that has 30 stores, maybe 8 eateries to where people who visit PennDOT can go and eat, and then we can have the people that reside in Hall Manor can work in those shops and stores. These are the type of comprehensive plan initiatives I've been working on for 13 years.
Thank you, Mr. Butts. Mr. Mindlin.
The animal issues are very...
Monumental fiscal crisis that we've inherited, the worst in the history of the city of Harrisburg, and we have an Act 47 plan. And I don't need to be a businesswoman to run this city. Goats like to eat poison ivory, and that's how you solve the debt.
Right. First question on crime response tactics. I think we need to have our mayor work as a crime czar, somebody who's going to engage the community, who's going to get at the root causes of crime, is going to put a face on the victims, and is going to be able to tap resources such as mental health and other things.
The federal government can actually help us to clean our cities. I figure the city should clean our city totally and then leave it to the residents to manage and clean it up. But first, the city must clean the city first, so we can have an example of how we want our residents to keep the city clean. If we're asking the residents to clean their city and they don't know how we want the city to be cleaned, then that's not their fault. It's a systematic problem. We need a Harrisburg Police Academy and a high school to produce our own officers, to create that culture of competence with every officer, because right now our citizenry feels as though it's an officer versus the citizen, and we pay the officers to watch us. So if we incorporate a Harrisburg Police Academy, we will produce our own officers. In turn, it'll be a much more happy relationship between the resident and the officer. I also would like to make sure that, and when we get the Wi-Fi in the city, when we have a Wi-Fi cloud around our city, we can place cameras anywhere we want to and have a matrix and have a grid. That's very important when new technologies are right in front of us, and we need to incorporate and integrate those new sciences.
Mr. Butts.
For 6 months every Saturday, and I got out there with my sneakers, my baseball cap, and my broom and my gloves and cleaned up to show leadership. We're not opening up our floodgates for, some scumbag that comes from Perry County who got the money and pocketed it and comes here and wants to dump it for
to change the face of that game because they're sitting on millions and millions of dollars, and you got to twist their arm just to get something for the bonds.
If our kids do not get a quality education, they will end up in prison. You're seeing more and more African-American men who are in prison because they have lack of skills and lack of quality education. We each need to take a mentor on in our house or in our bookstore and start an after-school program teaching young kids how to read and understand the importance of education. My parents taught me the value of education. They didn't finish school, but they invested in me, and I am a product of their investment. So parents...
Training, I was born in Harrisburg Hospital in 1966. I went through the school system. I worked for the archives. I was the last cartographer for the land office that William Penn set up. My history in Pennsylvania, my history of Pennsylvania, as well as Central Pennsylvania is second to none. I was a geologic librarian. I know our minerals and our natural resources better than anybody up here, I'm sure. Look at our access to the farm show. We could teach our kids equestrian sports. It's important. Why is our events held at the farm show and we're never apart? Our children can learn how to ride horses and do rodeos. It's our job to use the resources that are right here by the state. And we will work together to make our pets the best pets. Again, in the world, the smartest dogs. Everybody likes smart dogs. We will have smarter dogs. Even our dogs will be smarter.
Mental health is a serious issue.
I personally answer the telephone. When my staff leaves at 5 or 5:30 and sometimes 6, I'm there until 8 and 9 o'clock at night making phone calls for those who call me during the day and can't reach me because I'm tied up into doing your business.
And I can definitely lead this city into the future from a national point of view as well as an environmental point of view. We can go into the future and we're going straight ahead. If you elect me or not, I'm gonna work with the next mayor and we will definitely move forward. Don't get me wrong, but I've been around. I'm on the H.A.C C, the Environmental Advisory Council Committee, and I am active. I'm extremely active. I don't know where you haven't seen me. I'm everywhere. I swear, I don't know where you haven't seen me. I'm in every nook and cranny in the city.
Thank you, Mr. Butts.
And I'd like to say to the Honorable Linda D. Thompson, congratulations for another 4 years. I am the one that can predict and can see many things in my great city and hers. Everyone that's up on the panel, so to speak, you're wasting your time. Now, I can say that very earnestly because I know everyone up there. I like a good show. I say that all over the city. I know all of you. All of you. All I say, once again,
Thank you. We're going to move to our next question.
Hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your...
Thank you.
I'm strong in my leadership. You didn't put no timeline on us. That person asked a question. You didn't say it was going to be a minute. You didn't say it.
Thank you.
The council's chambers, and I believe the council's going to move in that legislation. KOZ was just introduced. We'll be having a big press conference next week with comedic and all the partners are involved with that to help create jobs. Thank you, Mayor. That's all, folks.
First, as a public servant, I give you the honor and respect to even take the courage to sit up there and listen to criticism as a mayor or as a potential mayor that you get. And thanks for the courage of standing up and trying to do better for Harrisburg.